Hi everyone, welcome to Sheepscape. So in today's video I'm just going to run through how I manage this bit of extra winter grazing that I'm getting. I had quite a few people asking me what type of fencing system I'm using to keep the sheep in. So it's a simple system I have for gathering the wire and putting the wire out. Previously I was using just my two little legs, and it was an awful lot of work, a lot of walking, a lot of carrying. The quad has made things a lot easier. It's simplified the job, and you're more inclined to keep them out when that job is a little bit easier. So this is a dairy farm, and if you have a look here, you'll see it's pretty well lit. When it starts to go white like that, it's time for a move. The farmer's shouting he wants them off, so we better keep in his good books. So I think what we'll do is we'll get the wire gathered up, and I will show the system I'm using, and then we look for the sheep after. Not sure where they are on this block of land, but I think they're still here anyway. So this is the type of fencing system I'm using. It's two strands of electric fence wire. We just have it's a strong post on the end, so it's just a piece of angle iron with insulators on it. So we just have the two strands of electrified wire here, the plastic post, intermediate post, battery fencer, just to electrify the wire. So that's keeping them in for now. So I'll just give you a look at the equipment I have on the quad. Now this is a very simple, we'll say cost-effective way of making the quad more useful for this job. So a couple of little bits. This is one of my sheep troughs that I used to feed meal out in the fields. I don't really do that anymore, but this was one that was left over, so I just have a cable tied to the rack of the quad. It's handy for putting the posts in because the posts can't really get out of it. They're kind of locked in both sides. You'll see I have my cordless drill. Now this is pretty crude, but this is a little device that I made a couple of years ago. I just stuck it together in the workshop. So it's a simple tool for gathering in the wire, rolling in the wire, because I used to find rolling the wire by hand around the reels was hard work. Now I know there's geared rollers which are easier on the arm, but you still have to walk with the line of the fence to reel it up. So I came up with this simple idea. So basically the reels that I use probably aren't ideal because they don't hold that much wire, but they're, I think it's called upcycling. These reels are from engineering workshop, from my own engineering workshop. They're the spools that the MIG wire come on, that they use for welding. They're quite plentiful. If you speak to somebody in your local workshop, generally they throw them out into the waste. So this is basically the cordless drill with the simple little device that I have hooked into the chuck of the drill. So your spool of wire, so I'll try and show you this. Your spool of wire clips onto this. So then your spool of wire is on the drill like this, and it just slips onto the quad like this. So you just drive along and you roll the wire, you pull the trigger off your cordless drill, and it just rolls the wire up as you're driving. But I'll show you it now as we're using it. So it's a simple thing, and because it's not connected it just sits there, but to take it off you just pull it off like that. You can stick it into the basket on the back when it's full, and then you can pick up a new one like so, stick it on here, and you're ready to go again with a new spool. So the only downside to this system, and because the spools don't hold that terrible much wire, you'll see my electric wire has quite a few knots in it, because when you fill the road you have to cut the wire, and it's a little bit wasteful, but look, you work with what you've got. The biggest problem I found with this electric fencing job was tying it off at the ends. Each end you needed something pretty sturdy to fix it to. So I was using wooden posts with insulator screwed in, but you had to bring a little sledge to beat them down. It just was an extra tool to be carrying around with you. So I made these simple end poles. They're off a little bit of galvanized angle iron, so that's them there, and I just tacked in the insulator. So they're quite simple to lift out. They've got a point on the end of them, insulator's fixed in, and they're quite easy to push in, so you just push them into the ground like that, and then you have a good sturdy pole for fixing your wire to. And then he's very easy to take out. You just loosen them in the ground, and there you go. As you can see, it's pretty simple. It cuts out a lot of the walking. I think it's fair to say most sheep farmers get enough walking. There's not too many of the older generation that don't need a new hip or knee wear and tear. So the quad, it cuts down that extra walking, and time is the biggest issue as well. I find because I'm working full time, Saturdays seem to be my only day for this type of work, so as much as I can get squeezed into a Saturday, the better. So it's definitely a good time saving. So that's the wire gathered up. Simple enough job. So we're working, I suppose, in reverse here. I'm just going to show you quickly how I find the fastest and easiest way to get this 2 strands up. You'll see here, it's a nice bit of grass here. It was an old marshy piece of ground that was reclaimed and reseeded, and quite a nice bit of grass on it. It's not particularly big. There's only I think it's about 4 acres on it, but look, it is worth fencing because, as you see, it's nice grass, so we'll take the time to fence it. So first things first, start at the end. We'll try and find somewhere to get stuck in now. There we go. Simple as that. Nice and firm. As I said, this was a reclaimed, quite a swampy piece of ground, so part of the reason for putting up this fence is behind me here. As you can see, this type of a standing water, if sheep head in there to nibble at grass, total disaster. You'll have sheep just drowned in it, so safer just to keep them out of it. So I just got to the end, turn around, tied her back, and I'm doing the other roll back the other way. So it's basically all off the quad. So as I said, it's all about saving time. So there we go. So just running the wire off the reel. So that's it, easy as that. Wire on the end pole here. I just leave the roll hanging there to, well, if I don't need it, it saves having to cut it. But this is it. This is the finished job now. Next job now is go and get them. Shortest day of the year, so daylight may beat us, but we'll see how we go. This is the bit we're putting the sheep in on now. So if I just swing around here, just across this hedge here and shuck, and this fence, this field in here is mine. So that's basically my nursery field, we'll call it. That's my shed up there in the background, my lambing shed. So it's not a far move. They've been in on the neighbours here for about 3 weeks now, so I'm going to get another 5, 6, 7 days. We'll get a little bit of grazing on this. We've got a batch of 180 here on this block. It's a little bit too many to put on 4 acres. They're just going to make a mess because it was reclaimed ground. It's pretty heavy, it's pretty wet. So we're only going to put maybe 50, 60 here. Now we've another 15-acre field. We're going to put the balance, or the remainder of the sheep, whatever it's going to be, 100 or 120 on that field. And a little bit of fencing to do there as well, but we'll see how it goes. Now I've no idea what the sound quality is going to be like. I've never used the GoPro when I'm on the quad at the same time, so I hope you can hear me. So I'm just going to go, you can have a look there. You see it's pretty well eaten now, it's pretty bare. So I see some sheep starting to appear. If I can gather up about 50 or so, I'll be happy. The dog is ready to go here. Lie down, Pops, lie down, lie down. Good dog. Let's see why the farmer wants them off. But this was a reseeded bit. It's pretty nice grazing. This is the problem in the wet after all the frost. That'll keep them going for a while. Probably not enough on it, so I'm going to go and grab a few more. If we could get another 20 or 30 or so, I'd be happy then. So there we go, we've the batch of sheep in on this nice bit of grass here. It's should keep them going for a week or so. So we'll be scanning in 2 weeks, so this bit of reseed will not do them any harm. We live in hope that the scan goes well. So this is the other batch here. They're ready for a move. Hopefully little doggy can bring them on. Daylight's about to beat us, but we're nearly there. Hold on. Hold on. One lady with a sore foot. So that went smoothly enough. Nice little bit of grazing here. Yeah, the farmer's given me another week, so I'd say we'll be well eaten by then. But so that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like and a subscribe. It'll help the channel, help us grow. I hope to get a video out every week. It's time consuming. The video one is actually the easy part. It's the editing I didn't realise was going to take so long. But look, we're getting there. And remember, every day you're working with sheep is a school day. Thanks for watching.